Hi, it's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and I'm bringing you my week 11 of my project life for 2018. So for this spread, I decided to use the Citrus Twist August kit. So what I do is I currently have all of my kits in their pouches and I've just labelled them up, and they're all on a pegboard, all nice and looking pretty. And what I do is I just tend to lay out my photos and then I'll go through my kits and try and have a look as to which sort of colours speak out as they suit the photos. Some weeks the colour choice is a little bit more obvious and sometimes it's not. So for this spread I did decide that the concert photo at the bottom was probably the strongest colours. So I had a look for a kit that sort of showed elements of those, and I decided to use this kit. So what I have done is on the top photo of my daughter I have used a couple of little offcuts just to layer up, a bit like you would do with a scrapbook layout, which I do forget to do quite often considering I scrapbook as well as Project Life. But I find that that's a great way just to bring those elements of colour that you might want to show across the spread. And then I've just pulled out a tag. That's from the Die Cuts pack, and I've just attached to it a little tag that's come out of a pot that I have full of little bits from Citrus Twist kits, just to sort of bring that cork element in. So in with this kit, if I remember rightly, the circle cork at the top was included, as was the little strip that I've added to my journaling card that says "On My Mind." But none of the other phrases really worked for any of the other photos. Plus, while I did have two that were two different shapes, I didn't then want to bring in another one of the same shape somewhere else on the layout. So I decided to pull this one out of my little tub, and I found that that worked and tied in a lot better. So what I've done is I've sort of put into my little leaf dish a few of the die cuts that I think I might use, just so that I'm limiting my choices a little bit, stops me messing about too much basically with everything, because there's just too much choice. So I've layered up a little frame under the picture of my daughter, and then I've layered on the top one of the flowers, and I'm going to use one of the puffy stickers that says "Loving" to be part of my title, should we say, for this card, and then I'm just going to pop that die cut word "You" underneath. And I don't mind having the empty space on some of the cards. I do find that a little bit of white space can be quite good. It just depends on how it's echoed across the rest of your spread. So I do find that because I've not particularly heavily embellished on another card, I don't feel as though the sort of white space or lots of flowers space on this card stands out too much. So I've used one of the little cut parts on that picture in the middle just to say "New Things." And one of the things we did this week is, I don't know if anybody else is like this, but paperwork that comes into the house, in our house, quite often just ends up on top of the microwave. So we did get a new unit, this is, surprise surprise, from IKEA. I do like to shop at IKEA. And we have decided to we just use 3 of them on a tier on the kitchen wall, and we're going to have one for things like school paperwork, school trips that are coming up. We're going to have one which is to file, so it's paperwork that we need to keep hold of for a longer time, and then we're going to use the other one for post, which is for my daughters who are currently at uni. So when they come home, they only have to raid through one section of the paperwork to find what they want. So I came home from work one day to find that my daughter had sorted everything out into whose post it was, so that we could go through it and get stuff filed away and try and stop the avalanche of post happening again. So far it's working. The microwave has no post on it, but we will see how time goes. So while I've been chatting about post, I have popped a couple of extra little embellishments on. So I've got a little plus symbol from the chipboard at the top, and I've also got a little puffy heart And then I'm going to add on my journaling, of which I will save you watching me write all of that. But I'm going to get that on there before I forget. And then what I found was on this tag on the bottom, I found like it needed a little bit of white on it. I've got a couple of black and white pictures in this spread. I've also got the pop of white from the word you on that top card, and of course I've got my journaling card, which is very white. So I pulled out my little Tim Holtz word stickers and just cut up one of the phrases that says live in the moment, just to add a little bit of extra to that card. And I think that's all I end up using. I've got something in my hand. I'm trying to work out where else on the spread it went. I know, up the top. So on the picture of my daughter, I've just added to the title and said forever. So that's got forever loving you. And then I realised that I hadn't used anything from my Craft Stash challenge. So part of the thing I talk through when I create this Craft Stash challenge is making sure that you do have a variety of things. So one of the things I do have on here is these little pearls. So I've got a variety of things that are quite big and quite dramatic, but then I've got quite a few that are just smaller bits that I forget that I have. So I don't necessarily go for pearls, I might go for enamel dots. So I've got those there as well, and when I do forget to pop something on, it's quite easy to pop a few pearls on a spread just to give it that little bit of extra of something, but it's not too bright a colour to take away from anything else. So I'm going to pop a few pearls across each of the cards that I've decorated, and that will be my week 11 of Project Life. So I will lift it up in a moment and show you a close-up, and then of course there are some pictures at the end as well. But if you have any questions about anything I've done or used, please ask them below. If you've liked this video, please give it a like, and if you want to see more, please hit subscribe. Thanks for watching.